Hello students, today we are going to learn chapter number 6, metals and non-metals. Introduction. Everything around us is categorized into either metal or non-metal. Hence it is very important to know what is a metal and what is a non-metal and how we can distinguish them. So we are going to study about the properties, chemical properties and physical properties of metals and non-metals in this topic. Now let us see the physical properties or how you can categorize a metal from a non-metal. Everybody has seen the copper, right? So copper is a shiny material which is used for many things, which is categorized as a metal, and everybody knows about coal also, right? Coal is categorized in non-metal. Let us see in detail the characteristics of metals and non-metals in the further lesson. Now let us see the different physical properties of metals and non-metals. First comes the luster. What do you mean by luster? Metals are having a reflecting surface. Metals shine in light and can be polished to become even more lustrous. We all know that all metals, for example copper, silver, gold, are having a shining property. That property is known as luster property. And quite obviously non-metals are not having this kind of property except iodine and graphite. Next comes hardness. Hardness is very hard. Metals you can find very hard except sodium and potassium, and non-metals are not hard except diamond, as diamond is the hardest substance which you could get on the earth. Malleability. Exactly what do you mean by malleability? Property due to which a substance can be beaten into sheets. That property is known as malleability, and quite obviously metals are having this property. They are highly malleable. You can just convert them into very thin sheet except zinc and antimony and arsenic. Some of the examples are there which are the exceptions, and non-metals are non-malleable. Next comes ductility, property by which a substance can be drawn into wires. We know all electric wires are made up of copper. Copper is a metal which can be drawn into a wire. There are exceptions. Zinc, arsenic and antimony are the exceptions. Non-metals are non-ductile except carbon fiber. They cannot be drawn into a wire. Next comes conductivity. We all know that all the metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. So bad conductors of heat and electricity, non-metals are the examples except graphite and gas carbon. Next comes state. All the metals are found in a solid state except mercury and gallium. We all know that thermometer contains the mercury which is in the liquid form, although it is a metal. And non-metals, either they are available in the solid, liquid or gaseous state. Next comes density. Metals are having the high density and non-metals are having the low density. In non-metals except diamond, and in metals except sodium and potassium, all are having the high density. Next comes the chemical properties of metals and nonmetals. And that first one is formation of ions. An atom loses or gains electrons to form ions. Atoms of metals have a tendency to lose electrons in solution and hence develop a positive charge. This makes them form a ionic compound, which we have already studied in the last class. If you remember, there are electrons revolving. If the metal loses, it will be gaining a positive charge, and non-metal which will be having a tendency to gain the electrons, hence it develop a negative charge. Most metals undergo similar kind of reactions. However, how fast or slow the reaction takes place depends on the reactivity of the metal. Next comes reactivity series of metals. Generally, metals are reactive, and that is why they mostly occur in the combined state in the nature as minerals. Metals in general react with
air, and water. Sodium, if left it open, immediately combines with the oxygen. Magnesium reacts with the oxygen when ignited, but iron and copper do not. So we can easily compare. Even on heating for long time, iron and copper cannot be burned or cannot be found reacted. This is because metals have a different reactivity. Some metals are highly reactive and some are less reactive. Metals are arranged in a series called reactivity series according to their decreasing reactivity from higher to lower. Hydrogen is the only non-metal included in the series. Even carbon has been included. So you can see there potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, carbon, zinc, iron, tin, lead, hydrogen, copper, silver, gold, and platinum. We always know that potassium and sodium are the most reactive metals, okay, and platinum and gold. Obviously, those are less reactive or least reactive. That's why we could find them in a purest form. Okay, in the nature they are available in the purest form. So we need to remember this reactivity series. I have given another slide here where you need to remember by remembering a sentence. Please stop calling me a careless zebra. Instead, try learning how copper saves gold. Okay, to just have an abbreviation and you can remember it. Kindly remember the series. Now let us see how metals and non-metals reacts with oxygen. So if you check for sodium in the laboratory, it is always kept in the kerosene. Do you know why? Because sodium is very reactive metal. If it is exposed to air, it will instantly react with oxygen to form oxide, which is called as sodium oxide. The reaction involved would be 4Na plus O2 gives rise to 2Na2O. Metals combine with oxygen to form metal oxides, which are basic in nature. When you compare with the non-metals combine with the oxygen to produce non-metallic oxides, which help and dissolved in water from acidic solutions. That is 2C plus O2 gives us to 2CO. And if you take an example of sulfur, sulfur combines with oxygen to make form a sulfur dioxide. Now let us see the reaction with water. We'll start with the metals. Metals react with water to displace hydrogen. Sodium and potassium react violently with cold water, forming the respective hydroxides and liberating the hydrogen gas. Another best example you can just see about the corrosion. Copper generally does not react even with the steam, thus reactivity metals water decreases in order. So corrosion copper reacts with the oxygen in the air and forms copper oxide. When exposed to the moist air for long, copper vessels acquire thin greenish layer on them. This green material is mixture of copper hydroxide and copper carbonate, which is known as corrosion. So if you just consider about non-metal, amongst non-metals, only carbon can displace hydrogen from the water under certain condition. When steam is passed through the red hot coke, a mixture of monoxide and hydrogen called water gas is formed. It is used in many industrial processes. Now let us see how the metals react with acids. Metals differ in the reactivity with acids. Reactive metals like sodium, potassium, and calcium react violently, whereas metals like magnesium, aluminum, and zinc react mildly with the acids. Sodium, magnesium, and aluminum react with hydrofluoric acid to produce salts and liberate hydrogen. Metals placed above the hydrogen in reactivity series displace hydrogen from dilute sulfuric acid or hydrochloric acid. Metals like silver, gold, platinum have low reactivity. They do not react with acids, oxygen, water, and any other compound under the normal condition. This is why gold and platinum jewelry do not lose their shine. These metals are rare and so they are expensive. Let us see reaction of metals with the bases. Only some metals like aluminum and zinc react with the base to form a complex salt and liberate hydrogen. Reaction of non-metals with the acids and bases are very complex, which we'll be seeing in the next class. Now, reaction with the salt solution. More reactive metals displace less reactive metal from their salt solution, which one of the example we are going to see in the lab, that is copper sulfate changes to iron sulfate. So it reacts with salt, base plus metal gives rise to salt plus hydrogen when it reacts with base, and the salt solution metal salts reacts metal A and the metal salt of B, it displaces with the A metal. So this we are going to see in the lab. Let us see the uses of metals and non-metals. Both metals and non-metals are of great use to us. Metals are extensively used for various purposes like domestic, agricultural, industrial, artillery, jewelry, decorative items, etc. Iron is used for making pins, nails, nuts, bolts, etc. Aluminum is used for making utensils, wires, furniture, parts of aircraft, machines for packing food, medicines, etc. Copper is used for making wires, vessels, electrical gadgets. Gold is used for making jewelry. Even silver is also used for making jewelry, coins, and medals also. And platinum is making for making jewelries, electric gadgets. Sodium compounds are used for common salt and chemicals, etc. Calcium is also used for making cement and glass. So, if you just see the non-metals, there some of the common non-metals are used are as follows. Sulfur is used for making sulfuric acid. Oxygen is used for respiration by living organisms and burning fuels, etc. Nitrogen is for making ammonia, which is used for making fertilizers. Hydrogen is used for making ammonia, which is used for making fertilizers. As a fuel in rocket, also it is used. Chlorine, which is for killing the germs in water. Iodine is used as a tincture. Iodine, which is an antiseptic. Another aspect is alloys. You might have heard about alloys. An alloy is a mixture of two or more metals or a metal and a non-metal. Alloys are made to improve upon the characteristics of metal. Advantages of making alloys are as follows. Alloys are stronger, harder, resistant to corrosive and better conductors. For example, iron is a strong but corrodes easily. When alloyed with chromium and nickel is in stainless steel, it does not corrode. The composition of alloys can be altered according to the requirement. For example, iron can be mixed with small amount of carbon, gives steel used for making screws and nails, but stainless steel is used for making utensils. Here are some of the examples where they can be made into a different component of metals and the properties and uses accordingly changes. So alloy is of great use for all of us. Thank you.